Sports Video Group's Jason Dachman. We're at the SVG Sports Graphics Forum in New York City, and I am with Alon Cohen, UFC's SVP of R&D, longtime friend of SVG. Alon, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Sure. Hey, it's good to see you. This is a great event. We're so glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you back. Previously with Fight Metric, who we knew very well, who was acquired by UFC, and now you are Mr. Data when it comes to UFC, who, as opposed to other federations and leagues, is coming into this sports betting concept that is, taking over the world right now as state-by-state legalizes in a very different fashion. You're kind of keeping it in-house. So tell me a little bit about what UFC's plans are and their sort of general strategy when it comes to sports betting.
No problem. So the NBA is on TNT, it's on ESPN, and NFL is on NBC and CBS, and those are the guys doing their production. That's not the case with us. ESPN's a wonderful partner. They do pre- and post shows, but when it comes to actually producing the UFC product, we do it ourselves. And as a result, we're more vertically integrated. So I, as you said, am in charge of our data. When we got into the betting space, we vertically integrated. So we start by saying our betting data has to go in the second it happens in-house. So you got to move your data operations in-house to meet it. But you can't move everybody in there for cost reasons. So you got to rebuild data from the ground up, bifurcate things. Here's what has to be basically cage side, and here's what you can do remotely like you would normally. And so we built the entire data system from the ground up to accommodate betting. That was a ground up effort. Once you do that, inside of the Endeavor family that owns UFC, they also have IMG Arena, because they own IMG and they own William Morris Endeavor and so on and so forth. So those guys are taking our data and taking that data and using, again, a top-down approach. So it's a data feed, it's an odds feed, and it's an event center, so that you can basically run an entire second screen experience, and below that you have your betting slip, so that they can integrate with sportsbooks. And I think that the other things that come in with the sport also make us a good fit for the betting environment, right? We are a global sport already. So NFL football is here in the United States, but we already host events and have fans in other markets that are mature betting markets. So we're going to go out there to that part of the world. And then the other thing that's weird about our sport compared to some of the other ones that we discussed is we aren't 3 hours. We are 6 hours, but 12 fights within those 6 hours. So all of your pre-betting events happen pre-fight, then you have your chances for in-event, in-running. So you can talk about, will the fight end on this round? Will it be a submission? Now we're in the middle of the second round. You've seen how the first round went. Do you think you're going to get a submission now? And those kinds of questions are things that both our fight fans are primed for, and also that are available to us over and over and over again, iteratively, in a single event.
Right. And you mentioned USC Fight Center. It's a really unique experience for fans as sports betting is getting in. So, how do you guys view that as a way for MMA and UFC fans to say, okay, this is how I'm going to get into sports betting all in one place, a holistic approach, essentially?
So IMG Arena is a mature player in this space. They already have the ATP contracts and the PGA contracts. And the same approach that they're taking to those sports is the same approach they're taking here. And they're providing a holistic product to a sports book. If you're a sophisticated sports book, you're Bet365, Paddy Power, you might say, I want to be able to build everything I want on my side, but I want the visualization you guys are giving me, and I want it with the highest level of fidelity I can get. Meaning, if we joke about this around the Super Bowl. Some people say, oh, it's the big game, because they don't have the rights to say Super Bowl. Well, we own our own products, and they're the official distributor, which means I can give you headshots and body shots of the fighters themselves. I can use the UFC logo, so that the event center that somebody gets from IMG Arena is going to be the fulsome UFC second screen experience. And then, if you're a medium-sized sports book and you want help with the betting slip, you want help with the markets, you want that sort of, it's not a soft...
Plug-and-play.
Yes, a plug-and-play implementation. You can get that plug-and-play implementation from IMG Arena as well. And of course, that's their deal, but we are intimately supportive of that. We deal with them every single event. We, in fact, did the first designs of Event Center as an MVP for them. That was something that we built in-house and took to ICE in London with us, and they've been wonderful partners.
You guys have been in the sports data business a long time. With Fight Metric, you were kind of the godfathers of combat sports data, really, really coming along. Now you're part of UFC, but I'm curious, you know it better than anybody. What's one thing within the sports data landscape that's going to surprise people that maybe we don't expect coming down the road?
So I think a couple of things are true. The thing that we've always been talking about, sensors, we've been talking about artificial intelligence, those things are always in the mix. I think realistically, the betting landscape is going to change the sports landscape. In America, we all sort of threw up our hands and went, oh my God, it's coming. It hasn't really come as fast as we think. I think that 3 years from now, we'll still be talking about it, like we talked about 3D.
Right.
The difference is that 3D died and this will still be well alive, but I think 20 years from now, we will look back and be like, oh, remember before iPhones? And you can't. You're like, I don't remember before.
And that's what sports betting is.
Exactly right.
Very cool.
That's where we're going to be.
Well, Alon, we really appreciate it. As always, thank you so much. And we'll see you next year at the Graphics Forum, yes?
Hopefully. That's what...
This is Jason Dachman at the SVG Sports Graphics Forum in New York. For more news from this event, stay tuned to sportsvideo.org.